A fire-breathing dragon invaded my backyard, or so Lisa claimed when she dialed the fire department at 9:42 p.m. By dragon, she meant my propane patio heater glowing beside a tiki bar, surrounded by 6 friends chuckling over s'mores. I was mid-marshmallow when 3 fire trucks screeched in, lights blazing, sirens howling. A baffled fire captain squinted at me and asked if I'd unleashed a mythical creature into our sleepy cul-de-sac. That's when it hit me. This wasn't about noise, fire, or dragons. This was war, and Lisa Marshall had just fired the first shot. I'd barely been in the neighborhood 48 hours when her opening salvo arrived, a crisp, official-looking letter, folded with surgical precision and faintly scented with jasmine and malice. The city, it claimed, had me in violation of guest occupancy limits for a single-family home. Curious, since my housewarming had exactly 12 people including me, and the rule she referenced only applied to rentals, which my house wasn't. Yet there it was, ink on paper, a report filed. I'd apparently made my debut. Now, before you peg me as some rowdy party animal with a driveway full of cars and a thumping subwoofer, let me set the record straight. I'm Jake Carver, an experienced planner by trade. Think pop-ups, installations, immersive art events. So sure, my gatherings have flair. String lights, music like a woodland indie band, and one fire dancer who twirled for 10 minutes tops. It was private, respectful, and legal. But to Lisa, none of that mattered. I first spotted her before the party during move-in. She stood across the street, watering can in hand, staring unblinkingly for 20 minutes. No wave, no smile, just her and her yappy little white dog, outraged by my existence. I nodded, waved. Nothing. Later, my neighbor Sarah clued me in. Lisa had hounded the previous owner, a retired accountant who played chess on his porch, with 3 HOA complaints about uneven lawn edges. This was my opponent. Post-party, she strolled by with an actual clipboard, cataloging my sins. I was grabbing mail when she paused, flashed a thin smile and said, "We value order here. The city takes violations seriously." I blinked. I hadn't broken anything. She hummed skeptically and sauntered off, her dog trailing like it was done with her crusade. That's when I knew I wasn't just next to a neighbor. I was beside a pastel-clad watchdog with a grudge against joy. It escalated fast. Code enforcement dropped by after an anonymous tip about occupancy. A noise complaint hit on a Tuesday afternoon while I was on a silent Zoom call with my accountant. No music, no guests, just tax forms. A landscaper I hired got a ticket for blocking the sidewalk, though his truck sat legally parked for 8 minutes. The officer shrugged. Repeated calls. We had to check. It was amusing at first. Sarah laughed over tea on my deck, calling Lisa the endgame boss of HOA hell. But the humor faded when I caught her watching me daily, binoculars in hand, blinds wide open. My buddy Nate waved once. She ducked, then popped up like a paranoid prairie dog. I started a log, not out of fear, but strategy. Every complaint, every photo she snapped of my driveway, every rule she wielded, I documented it. If Lisa wanted a rulebook duel, I was game. What she didn't know. I've got skills, not Taken-style vengeance, but crafting public spaces into whimsical wonders. My backyard was about to become a battlefield of art, permits, and petty payback. First, I went quiet. No vui parties, no noise. I built under tarps and tents. Lisa peeked once, asking if it was a greenhouse. Something like that, I grinned. Inside, I was brewing magic. After the dragon fiasco, I let a week slip by without a peep. No vui, no deliveries. Lisa probably thought she'd won, her clipboard conquest complete. While she sipped herbal tea and smugly skimmed ordinances, I dove into municipal codebooks. Noise isn't the problem, permits are. I found a buffet of legal loopholes, event licenses, noise variances, vending approvals. My spreadsheet, Operation Extravaganza, bloomed with tabs, contacts, and maze blueprints. My backyard? Soon as zoning officers puzzle. I filed a vague permit for a temporary structure for creative community engagement. When the city called, I pitched an RSVP-only art installation. Security? Protocols rattled off like I was guarding the Louvre. Approval landed in 72 hours, 2 pages of bureaucratic gold. Construction hummed discreetly. Pallets and fencing trickled in off hours. Friends' voice cited solo. Lisa still patrolled, her dog Muffin trudging behind. "What's under the tarps?" she demanded once. "A memory," I said. She froze, baffled, then retreated. The maze took shape, a decision room with a dozen doors, one exit, a fog corridor with sent-in projections, and my agenda, Lisa's tribunal, featuring cardboard neighbors pointing at fake violations. Petty? Sure. Artful? Absolutely. But a maze wasn't enough, it needed festival flair. Sarah nabbed food trucks, tacos, vegan donuts, a coffee bean-shaped espresso rig. Nate scored acoustic duos and a DJ for funnel cake vouchers. I coordinated like a general, permits as my armor. Lisa sensed the shift. Notes appeared on my mailbox, backyards are for peace, not parades. She tried peering over the fence with a selfie stick. I yelled, smile, and she fumbled it. Invitations riddles with GPS coordinates hit private groups as Labyrinthia, a suburban quest. RSVPs soared from 20 to hundreds over 3 days. I updated permits, street use, crowd control, ADA-compliant porta potties. The city's surprise inspection? I handed over maps, guidelines, and cocoa. Inspector Valerie smirked. Who inspired this? I glanced at Lisa's house. Community spirit. Long overdue. 2 days before launch, Lisa cornered me. You're ruining this neighborhood, she hissed. With art and small business? I asked. She stormed off, steam practically rising from her jacket. That night, her blinds twitched till 3 a.m. Day 2 dawned. Dreamy guests followed glowing chalk arrows, Lisa's house a silent thunderhead. Nate manned audio, Sarah checked in attendees, and I watched. Families roamed, a dad won tacos guessing fake violations, laughter floated. Then Lisa struck. At 11, she emerged, sun hat, shades, concerned citizen, VY marching to the gate, muffin stumbling behind. You can't block the sidewalk. She jabbed at a cone marking a pavement bump. It's for safety, I said. I'm reporting this, she snapped. I shrugged, find nothing. She called the fire department, again no flames, hassled a sanitation truck. They laughed and lunged at a flyer passing glitter-caped woman who pirouetted away. Kids in flower crowns gawked as she huffed off, pink-faced. At 3, a new inspector arrived, tall, weary after a crowding complaint. I walked him through. Exits, signs, extinguishers. Shockingly organized, he grinned. Then a scream pierced the air. We bolted to the mirrored hall of endless summons. There was Lisa, trapped, pounding panels, hair wild, yelling, "Let me out of this lunatic asylum." Phones filmed as we guided her out. She slapped away water, dubbed us a hippie cult, and stormed off. By dusk, Lisa, lost in her own maze, had 12,000 VYUs. The silent disco capped the night, headsets, LED orbs, dancing shadows. Lisa called the cops, cult ritual. But Officer Riley grabbed tacos and a headset, grew VYing for 10 minutes. As we dimmed the lights, I saw it. Not just revenge, but community creati VY tie trumping fear. Day 3 exploded, costumes, influencers, news crews. Lisa vanished, but the HOA board arrived, citing her complaints. I gave them the tour permits pristine. They marveled, hinting at an annual event. You followed every rule, one said. Lisa'll hate that. She did. For the glow night finale, she slinked in hoodie, shades only to get lost again, raging in the mock HOA room. This is madness, she shrieked. That's the point, I said, offering an exit. She vowed my ruin, but security ushered her out as live streams rolled. Cleanup was quiet, reflective, the maze dismantled, a memory etched. Then the HOA and VY TED me to lead their engagement committee. Lisa's final complaint flopped. A for sale sign sprouted in her yard. I turned the maze remnants into a garden, dubbing the path Marshall's Way. Kids played, teens snapped pics, and at the next meeting I brought cupcakes. Another festival? Maybe, I grinned. Depends on the VYB. They laughed. The clipboard tyrant was gone, and a maze had won.